Hey, everybody. We're just waiting for some more people to join. Let's just give it a couple of minutes. Thank you. Okay, guys. All my Touch Suite agents, thank you for joining the EposNow training. John will be presenting. As of June 2024, EposNow operates in over 70 countries. Their systems are used by more than 64,000 businesses. EposNow's cloud-based system allows businesses to manage every aspect of their operation from any device or from any location. That includes iOS, Android, or Windows, even on your cell phone. These systems include payments, inventory control, and custom reporting. They have headquarters in England, Orlando, Australia. They can be boarded on Fiserv or TSYS, and they can be used for both high-risk or low-risk merchants. And best of all, its SaaS and hardware is about half the price of Clover. So, and we can deploy it very quickly. So I don't want to take the wind out of John's sails.
Oh, but you're doing so good.
SALES, not SAILS. And at this time, I'd like to introduce you to John Kernot. He is the head of partnerships in North America. John, take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate the time today. So I'm going to share my screen momentarily just for a quick background on myself. So I have been on board with EposNow for over 9 months. My past roles have included data intelligence as well as working for one of the largest point of sale providers in the world for 5 years. So have definitely had experience. What I do look forward to in working with you all at TouchSuite and understanding the opportunities we have is one, we're very nimble as a point of sale provider. We focus on efficiency. We focus on the small and mid-sized business market. Some of that will expand with the opportunities that we are in discussion with. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. My goal today is really to provide you all knowledge on what we do, the opportunities that you all have in motion, and also what we are a fit for. So not every opportunity may be the exact fit. And just to make sure, if I can just get some feedback, you all are seeing my screen now, is that correct?
Yeah, I think everybody's muted. They all have access to
Okay.
chat, but they're muted.
Fantastic.
But we can hear you and we can see you.
Wonderful. So I wanted to start with the areas and the industries that we are seeing the most growth in, so that you can understand how our system does apply, and then we'll go into the system itself. So one of the areas that we are seeing significant growth, specifically with your groups, are around smoke shops, convenience stores. Historically, where we have also found success in the retail space is in beauty supply, looking at those different areas of the retail solutions. So they are certainly built for inventory, being able to manage that efficiently. And then when we look at the hospitality space, obviously restaurants are going to be a predominant one with bars. We do a lot of nightclubs. And so therefore the categorization there. One of the biggest feature sets that we see hospitality clients leveraging is our stock management features and how that relates to their menu ordering process. So if you think of a menu, or if you think in retail side, we can do units of measurement. We can manage that around threshold levels in your inventory. Do you need to reorder product? How many steaks have you sold? How many do you have remaining? So our system is built to remain nimble in operation, but also to help merchants identify how do they drive more revenue in that efficiency. So I'm going to pull up a picture of our solution just so you can see this. So it is an Android-based solution. What you will see under the main screen is a built-in thermal printer that can also connect to a second screen that is consumer-facing. So a lot of our merchants are starting to utilize that for tip management, or as we define it on the smaller screen, gratuity. So when you look at the various industries that we're serving, one of the things you want to look at is reliability. So the solution does have 4G backup built into it. So what that is going to translate to is that if their internet goes down, they're still able to manage transactions. When it comes back online, they're going to be able to batch those out for the processing side. We do also offer redundancy solutions and hardware that are external to the solution. So if they are in a known area that is unreliable with internet, we do have the option to add hardware that can facilitate that continued mobile connectivity. The solution is Wi-Fi compatible, which makes it really nice for being able to manage that both in the retail environment, as well as we're starting to see a little bit more there in the food truck space, because you can connect to Wi-Fi via your phone, as well as you can download the till to a mobile device or a tablet. So as we look at the solution itself, just here are a few additional pictures I wanted to show of the hardware. I'm actually going to go into a brief demo of the solution. So as I scroll down here, you'll see the different categories, the different areas we have. This is one of the more important ones, I think, as you all look at how we relate to competition. And I will certainly make this available to Rob and the team so that you all can be better educated. Our goal is to identify opportunities that you all can position EposNow in. Myself and Tara from our team will drive a lot of the initial demos for you all, and then facilitate additional training as well. But one thing you will find that Rob mentioned is we are aggressive cost-wise. So we are about 50% lower cost on hardware as well as on the SaaS fees. I will let him get into the details of cost after this call, but really what I want to communicate is through this, you're going to see that there is a distinct advantage, not only with the capabilities that our solution comes with. We offer over 50 reports, which we'll get into just a bit. So when you look at the overall capabilities within the solution, you get more bang for your buck. As cliche as that may sound, it is very true. And then our service is available 24/7, 365. And we do structure that from a global perspective. So if a business is closing at 12 a.m. and they end up batching out their books at 2 a.m., if they have an issue with managing tips and it not batching out correctly, they can get immediate support for them at that hour and resolve the matter. If not, we will follow up. So it gives you a little perspective for our service levels, our commitment to you all as a partner, but also we continue to develop the solution to remain competitive with everyone you see on this. For instance, in about a month, if not sooner, we will roll out a full integration on Deja Vu devices for menu ordering, for payments. So that's where we continue to progress and remain competitive in the marketplace. So I'm going to take a quick pause. If there are any initial questions for about 30 seconds, we can certainly review that. Otherwise, I will go into a very brief demo of the solution so you can get a look at the interface. So I'll do a quick pause, Rob, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, folks, if you have questions, just post them in the chat. I was trying to prevent like a lot of people from talking over each other when they were asking questions. So just post your questions in chat. You have visibility of the chat, right, John?
I can minimize my window and take a look. So give me 2 seconds. And
there's nothing in there yet. So
okay. But yeah, I do. I will say one thing that we have focused on as of recently is making sure the speed of which merchants can get online. I think Henry, some of the members of the Touch Suite sales team have experienced this, is to give you all a little bit of the introduction to how we bring on merchants while we're waiting questions, and I'll go into the demo. So how we typically do is we will onboard and activate what we call the back office. So that is essentially how they manage and load their inventory into the system or their menus. So within about 12 hours of the solution being paid, if not sooner, we are able to provide back office access through the software. That is before the hardware will even ship out. So it does give the merchant roughly 2 to 3 days, if they are available, to begin either working on the setup, understanding that myself, Tara, and our customer support team is available. And then within 48 hours, we will typically do a welcome call from our implementation team. That may be in conjunction with Touch Suite from a services perspective to get the merchant up and running. But it's also, we will provide 5 training sessions. Typically, that will be enough to get the merchant up and running and knowledgeable on the system. But we also do provide additional training. So we've actually had an instance with a smoke shop that was up and running, and then they decided they wanted to leverage our inventory tools as well. And so we did some additional training on that. So we are pretty flexible when it comes to activating merchants, having that as a priority, and then also prioritizing from a time perspective when they are available, and then continuing to educate them to maximize utilization. So I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and open the application itself.
Right before you begin, John, I just wanted to emphasize something that he kind of skimmed over, but I think is really important for all my agents. EposNow will assist you with demos to your merchants. So you don't have to fully understand the system. You just have to set up the appointment and they'll do the demo.
Correct. Yeah. And that is important, because what we will see is our goal over the coming months will be to train you all enough. And we will spend concentrated time to get you all educated to where you all at some point will feel empowered. Okay, hey, I'm understanding enough to where I can do a demo, and then you bring the opportunity to us after the fact. But in the meantime, you're welcome to schedule a demo with myself or Tara. We will support that. You all will have access to our Calendly links to where you can see our availability. The first thing I want to mention is within the till. So I've loaded this on my computer, so it kind of reinforces for the merchant that they can access the various solution base from their mobile device, a tablet, what have you. They will have staff management features, including basic payroll. So I'm going to go ahead and log in to the solution. And what you're going to notice is I have categorized several different business types. I do this on purpose so that merchants can see the various industries we support. But for instance, it's also to showcase that you can change the color of buttons, you can add images to them. So it gives them a likelihood of what they can experience. So if I click into Quick Store here in the bottom right, it's going to go to all blue features. So those could change. It gives them an idea of what the solution can be tailored to their business. So any of the names, all this can be customized for their business. So if I went in down to health and beauty, you're going to see a number of products within here. Why I highlight this is they're going to be able to scroll through here. This lets them know the capacity of SKUs. which in general knowledge, we can handle up to 70,000 SKUs, which is a lot. But as I scroll through, what I also will highlight for the merchant is when you look at a store like this, you're typically going to use barcodes. So as you would be scanning the barcodes, they're going to populate over here automatically. So they don't have to manually insert those, but it is available should they need to use it. Therefore, if I was a restaurant and I'm going through a pizzeria and I wanted to see that, you're going to see here I've got multiple subcategories. This is going to use the menu feature very often. I've also got two things to highlight within wings. Is you'll notice wings, 2 items, and then you'll have a 0 cost item. I laid this out for a specific reason. So this would be what we call a multiple choice item or a modifier, as you all may understand them. So if I order wings and I want extra wing sauce, or I want to say, okay, I want this type of wing sauce, the merchant is going to have the availability to have different layouts. So within this, that wing sauce could also be a pop-up. So once I select half a dozen wings, it may say, do you want extra? Do you want normal? What flavor do you want? So you can have that different flow within the process of the screen itself. The other thing I will highlight is these top 3 up here in the left-hand corner. If you have a merchant who has multiple locations, we also have the availability to manage multiple tills and multiple locations for their businesses within the solution itself. So a really applicable example is if I have 4 stations in my establishment and I'm in the backup office and I don't want to go to the front to approve a discount, I can change my till locations and approve a discount from that. Excuse me. So it allows the merchant to see applicability directly within their business. And then also, we mentioned discounts. So if I look in here, these reasons, these can be tailored to the merchant. So let's say I had a 10% discount for veterans and I want to apply it to the entire check. I can do that, or I can itemize down to a specific product. So it lets them see a little bit of the functionality that is included within the solution. And then let's say I wanted to add 2 additional. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to add it. It's automatically going to calculate that. So it makes it very seamless for the merchant. 2 additional features I'm going to touch on related to cost. You'll see service right here. This is what we define as service fee. It is soon going to be changing to accommodate different verbiage, but for right now, it is essentially what we allocate for surcharge fees. So you can have that defined in the back office, which we will take a brief look at here momentarily. And then also, if you go to the pay button, you're going to have the option for cash discounting that is automatically built in. So both of those are automated and calculated based on the percentage defined in our back office. And then if you look at it from a hospitality perspective while we're here, you can also have tab management. So I'm going to go and I'm going to assign one of these to this. It's then going to allocate. You'll notice 2 have gone over and 2 remain on the ticket. So this allows you to be able to kind of see from a flow process what that would look like for a merchant in that area of tab management. And then we also have table management within here as well. So I've got 2 just for purposes. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say I want to add 2 more tickets for the bar or this table. And then you're able to open that. So within that, you're going to be able to manage both the ordering process as well as how many tabs are going or covers are going to apply to the ticket itself. Just here, you'll notice there's an add service stage. So within our solution, you're also going to be able to have a color-coded dial on different tables. That's going to let you know what area or what stage they're at. Are they in the appetizer? Are they in mains, desserts, etc.? So it gives a little bit more structure and visibility for the hospitality side of our business. We also integrate with OpenTable directly within the point of sale. So they will have that as an access feature within the solution.
Hey, John.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to take a quick pause.
There was one question in the feed that what is the order or pay at the table capabilities?
So there's a couple of different features. We have some apps within our app store that you can do QR code ordering. So that became very popular during the pandemic and the COVID phase. So those are still available. We also have the handhelds, so the QD series, the P series from Deja Vu. Those can both be utilized now directly. That will correlate and print to a kitchen printer, as well as fire off orders to a kitchen display system. In about a month's time, we are going to offer a full integration that allows for transactional pay at the table as well as receipt printing, and that is in development currently. So the only difference right now is that at the end of the check, when a customer is paying, they would use the primary till for payment. So in about a month, you'll have a very comparable solution to Toast or even Square in that capacity.
Great. Thank you.
Two other features that I'll highlight just before going into the back office, and then we will, I would say, probably pause and align additional time. If you look at it from a convenience store perspective, we're pretty strong in that space. So convenience stores may just want to bring up an item they don't want inventory, so they can go to miscellaneous product, add a product name, a tax associated with it, and they're able to do the transaction. If you look at it from a different perspective, let's say from a liquor store, they have a supplier that brings by a case of product. They want to sell it, see how it tests out in the market. They can go to quick add product from the front of the till. They can add the product name, the category associated with it, the pricing, as well as a barcode. That is then going to be added to the back office in their inventory so that that can have appropriate reporting applicable to that. Excuse me. So what I'm going to go to now, I'm going to go back to the main screen. I'm going to click on admin.
Well, one more question came up.
Yeah.
It said, are you able to charge for bottle deposits?
We are, yes. We do have a feature specifically for that. A very, very good in the convenience store space. So
Thanks.
we have many that utilize that now. Excuse me. So I'm going to click over to the back office for a couple of things just to show you a high level view of capabilities. So this is the area that they will be able to manage inventory, do reporting. And what you will notice is that I went from the front of the till to the back office. So you can do the same thing on the hardware. So they don't have to go onto a computer to manage their inventory. If they need to do so, they can simply toggle over within the till itself. So I'm going to scroll down just so you can see some of the capabilities. This is going to go everywhere from categories that we were looking at to product details to also the multiple choice products, variants in colors, so retail. If you look at generating labels for a convenience store or retail location, they can do that. You can also run promotions for staff. So you don't always have to do that verbally, if you will. So the point of sale can also remind staff that they have various promotions. So let's say if they ring up a burger or if they do a t-shirt, it's, buy two, get a third free. So they can incorporate those different feature sets into the point of sale as well, and we can assist them in setting that up. I mentioned that we have a strong offering around stock management. So this looks at everything from stock movements to transfers to doing a stock take to being able to order automatically from suppliers via email. So for instance, if I am running a restaurant and I realize, hey, I'm running low on fish, it can email my supplier and say, hey, I need to go ahead and buy another case of fish, whatever the case may be. You can also do a master stock report across locations. So it really gives a nice functionality for looking at staff features. And just here, I'm going to scroll so you all can see the various features that are available for staff. So you'll see there's quite a few. So you can have an unlimited number of roles associated with a merchant. It gives them the capabilities of being able to look at that. So for instance, in the convenience store space, we've recently demoed for managers that want to be able to look at shift reports. So if money is missing from a drawer, they have the capabilities to identify, okay, where did they go short, and then calculate that appropriately within the point of sale.
Another quick question.
Yeah.
If can the merchant scan from an inventory sheet to update inventory?
They can, yeah. So there's two ways they will do that. If they have the barcode applicable, they can scan that and then they can change the quantity. So let's say for a case of wine, it typically is going to have 12 bottles, I believe, is the standard for liquor stores. So if they do that, they can scan that, and then they can also change the number to 12 directly within there. And then what they can also do is you'll notice, let's say with wine, with beer, etc., they may have different barcodes associated with single items. So they can also scan that information into the system if they choose to break those down to the various levels.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to scroll through just so you all can understand reporting a little bit. So we have 50 different reports. The reason why it's a comprehensive and robust system is it populates it based on the transactional data of the merchant. So the merchant does not necessarily have to build the reports in order to understand what's happening with their business. So for instance, I'm going to click on sales by product. So if I went in here, I can look at data from any number of increments over the last 90 days to custom and going out further. I could also go down in the staff and say, hey, I want to look at specific personnel based on that, or I want to look at based on wet and dry. So it gives you the availability to then filter out that information. You can then export, you can print. So whatever they need to do within their business, and that may just be that they want to look at within the solution. So as I scroll down here, you'll see there's a number of different areas that they're going to be able to look at, all the way from stock down to auditing based on discounts and refunds or voided sales. So we have a number of different categories to give them perspective for ROI. And then let's say that they want to follow 6 main traits for their business. They can go in here and build a dashboard within the system, and that will also email them the data. So they do not necessarily have to log in to track that information. So we see that as a really big advantage around efficiency of the merchant, but also when you look at it competitively across other solutions, we offer a pretty comprehensive approach to most systems you're paying at some level for additional SaaS fees for these various features. And so we see that as a distinct advantage within the solution itself. Lastly, what I will go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, another quick question.
Please.
I think you might have covered it, but he wanted you to repeat it. This question's from Ken. How can an owner access reporting for a multi-location business?
Yeah, so if I look at the sales by report, I'm going to have based on locations. So we have a specific report that can be implemented that will then take into account multiple locations as well as multiple tills. So some of that will be handled on our implementation process so that it facilitates the appropriate view for the merchant.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. The last 2 things I'm going to mention, and then we'll just open the floor for questions. We do have a very strong online support community. So I'm going to click on this just so you can see. It's going to open up a separate window. The reason why this is important is for 3 reasons. One, this is the #1 source of truth for where our development team takes input of what features are needed, where we want to see the solution go, what features are most desired by merchants. So we have probably about a 30% adoption on this, which is fairly high for the type of solution that you're looking at and the support center. So it's an online community. We also have a proprietary AI feature that's built in. So for instance, let's say I wanted to add staff members and I don't remember where to do that in the solution. I can simply click down here, and this AI feature is actually going to scan all of our documentation available in the system, and then it's going to output a step-by-step instruction for the merchant on where do they go do that, so they don't have to physically search for it. The other area where it becomes important is if it is after hours, if they are not wanting to call our support line, they can also do contact us features. So there's multiple outlets for them to be able to engage if they're training, if they're doing something, if they're just troubleshooting something within their point of sale. They will have multiple sources to really understand and then define the outreach. The other item that I wanted to cover within this is our app store. So if you think of our app store, very similar to kind of the Apple store, we have a closed system to where defined third-party companies will work with us to integrate capabilities. So probably the most applicable that you will hear from is delivery services within, DoorDash, Uber Eats, what have you. Another popular one that we are integrating that is starting to get utilized more is called Scan Data. Scan Data is a feature that allows tobacco stores, convenience stores, etc., to actually derive revenue from those sales because tobacco industry cannot advertise anymore. So as that applies, we are identifying that for some of the initial TouchSuite clients. So we will start to collaboratively introduce that application to your merchant base. But I'm just going to scroll through. You can see a little bit of this. We've got different categories, everything from accounting to e-commerce integration, QuickBooks, loyalty. So we've got a number of different categories that are available for merchants to be able to leverage within our system. And those do go from everywhere from batch integrations to real time based on the needs of the merchant itself.
Some of those apps, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of
Mhm.
apps are free and some of them have a cost, but there's a lot that are
Yes,
free,
some
right?
of those are going to carry a cost for them. So if you think of it very similar to the App Store, there's going to be external third party, and they're going to have a price for. So if you look at like QuickBooks, that runs anywhere from I think $40, depending on how many employees, to payroll, or loyalty may run anywhere from like $10 to $20, depending on what type of program they may want. A good example of loyalty is that we can produce gift cards for restaurants or retail locations based on those needs. So at a very high level, that provides background on EposNow. I'm going to keep it brief for the fact that, one, I want you to be able to focus on the opportunities at hand that you may see applicable, to where you can ask questions. You're going to be welcome to follow up. I'll provide Rob and the team with collateral for you all as well. If there are any questions now regarding opportunities you see could be a fit, and if we want to post through those, I'm happy to do so.
There was one question about, is there a cap on how many POS stations can be tied to one merchant? Like if they needed 12 stations, 50 stations, it's no limit, right?
Yeah, to my knowledge, we have not reached a limit. That's really just scalable based on the business size. What we typically will see is you will have more of a throughput on processing. But what we have tested is between, really where you start to see any slowdown would be around 50,000 SKUs. And I think that's just normal overall for business. But then at the same point, we would most likely be allocating more space in the cloud for merchants of that size.
Great, thanks.
Absolutely.
All right. Was there anything else you were going to cover unless there were questions? Anybody
No,
have
that
any more?
was it. So I think that
Okay,
will allow not to overload the various agents with information. Our
great.
goal is we want to have follow up with you all. I will express, we would like to have continuous engagement. So I am available via email, and then we can assess those opportunities as they may come.
Great. Any more questions?
And in general, is the feedback that you all see, is that favorable for what you all want to see in a point of sale, as well as providing feedback if you think there are additional features that could be helpful toward your sales. That is my role in overseeing partnerships in North America, is to identify how do we integrate and produce a product that is viable within our partner channel.
Yeah, I think I spoke with Matt this morning in our
Mhm.
deployments department, and evidently he's been playing and testing with your system, and
Oh, yeah.
he hasn't found any inefficiencies, anything that was missing yet,
Mhm.
which is a really good sign. Really good.
I will take that. I saw one additional question. Do you have a point of sale station maximum for large and outdoor retail campuses? I don't
That's
know
the
if that
one
was
I. That's
that's the
what I
same
just.
question. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was
Okay.
the quantity of stations. Yeah.
Understood. And I will say, kind of an open question, and for where we are going with the team as well, we are going to be exploring more as it relates to point of sale and kiosk. I realize there's obviously relationship with Grubber from a collaborative organization perspective. So that is an area where we are going to continue to look at various opportunities, how we integrate. So just know that those are going to be coming. So as you have different opportunities, we will also be exploring those.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, John.
Absolutely.
Everybody, if you have additional questions or you need pricing, you haven't gotten a price sheet, reach out to your relationship manager or me directly, and I'll send you pricing and any other questions. Let's get some opportunities where John can do a demo directly for a merchant, and let's get some EPOS systems out there.
Absolutely. We will look forward to it. I appreciate everyone's time today.
Thanks very much, John. I appreciate what you did.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good day.
Bye bye, everybody.